Hello everyone. Today's lesson is about society. Society is the second unit in the first year baccalaureate. So let's start. We will start by a spider diagram. What is a spider diagram? We have society. So when you think of society, you think about what? For example, for me, if I think about society, society in Arabic is المجتمع. So if I think about society, I think about people. People in general. People, children, homeless people. Homeless people are people who live in the street, so they have no home. Homeless, they have no home. Homeless people. Disabled people. Disabled people. For example, people who are blind, who have only one leg, so they are disabled people. In Arabic, disabled people is ذوي الاحتياجات الخاصة. So disabled people, disabled, not disabled, not disabled, but disabled, disabled people. Alright? Generation gap. What is a generation gap? For example, between adolescents and old people, there is a generation gap. So there is a lot of years between the two people, the two kind of people. So for example, between you and your parents, there is a generation gap. Between me and my daughter and my son, there is a generation gap. Between my son and my father is a generation gap. Alright? Jobless people. We saw homeless people. It means homeless. It means home. People who have no home. Jobless. It means people who have no job. So homeless, jobless. All right. Jobless people. People who have no jobs, who do not work. Jobless people and the homeless people are part of the society. All right. Elderly people. Elderly people. We saw children. And here we have elderly. Elderly means simply old people. My grandfather, my grandmother, your grandfather, my friend's father. So old people, people who have aged. All right. Old people are elderly, elderly, elderly. All right. Adolescents, adolescents. For example, students who study in high school are adolescents. So between adolescents and elderly people, there is a generation gap. Is the difference between elderly people and adolescents. All right? Poor people. Poor people, people who do not have a lot of money. Poor, they are poor, فقراء. The opposite is rich people, have a lot of money, rich people. We have shelter. For example, homeless people, people who have no shelter, who have no home. Shelter is home. People who have no shelter. All right? And hospitality. Hospitality, مشي السبيطار. Hospitality is, for example, when you have some guests, some people that come to your home, you give them hospitality. All right? You give them, for example, food, you take care of them. All right? You give them hospitality. All right? كتكرموا. All right? Let's continue. Moroccans are known of their hospitality. Are known for their hospitality. يعني معروفين بالكرم ديالهم. Hospitality. Homeless people have no shelter. Homeless people have no shelter. No home, no shelter. Jobless people are not rich. They are poor. Jobless. Disabled people need help and special care. Disabled people need help and special care. There is a generation gap between elderly and adolescents. There is a generation gap between elderly, old people, and adolescents. Alright, so we finished the lesson of today. And as always, do not forget that practice makes perfect. Just try to see the video as much as possible, and if you have any questions, you ask me. All right. I wish you all the best of luck. This is the first part of the second unit, which is society. So take care of you and see you in the next video. Goodbye.